Let's learn today Excel formulas for supply chain management. Hello everyone, welcome to this video where I will show you the top Excel formulas which is used in supply chain management. Whether you are handling inventory, supplier data or logistics, these formulas will save your time and optimize your workflow. So let's dive in. Cool. To import a data, what I have to do, click on this option called data and then get data. Click on this from file option. There is an option called from text to CSV. Since my data is available in the text file, that's what I'm doing this. Import. And then I'll say load. Cool. So this data has been imported for me. Supply chain dataset in this particular tab. Now, since we have this dataset available with us, which representing a supply chain operations, which includes your product ID, name, supplier, category, stock quantity, unit price, total cost, order date, delivery date. Since we have this dataset now available, we will leverage those formulas which will help us to be more efficient in supply chain industry. Okay, folks. So first and foremost is a Vlookup. As we all know, right? Vlookup and Xlookup, we extensively use it. Now, suppose there is a requirement, cool, and you want to identify why we use Vlookup and Xlookup to identify a specific value. Okay. Suppose there is a requirement for me. I have this product name available and I want to identify this keyboard here. Cool. I'll just copy this and paste it over here. Random. We need to find a supplier of product, say keyboard. Cool. So I want to identify a supplier. Since we have this very small data set, we can easily do it with the help of filter. However, when we have a larger data set in different sheets, and when we combine that time it's difficult to do that. That's what we are using a Vlookup. I'll show you Xlookup as well. First, we'll start with Vlookup. Lookup value is this, and what we want a supplier to be shown, right? So I'll just simply select this, cool, comma 2, comma 0, bracket close, hit enter. So which supplier is this? So supplier C. If you could see it over here, which is supplier C, right? So this is how you can use a Vlookup function. If in case you want to do a dynamic way to be checked, right? So that time we can say as a Xlookup. I'll say Xlookup here. And then suppose I want to apply this again keyboard only to identify my supplier. So lookup value would be keyboard, comma, what are the arrays for me? So B2 to B21. So this is the array, lookup array. And what is the return array? So return array, we want this. Also, I'm just selecting this, comma, if not found, supplier, I'll say supplier is not available. Supplier is not available, bracket close. Again, exact match, bracket close, hit enter. You could see how beautiful option is available. Let's assume this keyboard is not available. Yeah, I'll say keyboard 1 over here and hit enter. Now this message also will pop up with the help of Xlookup. So this is the slight difference between Vlookup and Xlookup. So Vlookup do a vertically lookup and Xlookup will do a dynamically lookup. Cool. So this is how we can identify a product based on the requirement in supply chain management, folks. Now let's move ahead and understand. Suppose there is a requirement, we need to sum the total cost of all accessories, right? So in this case, what we can do, we will simply use this formula is equal to sum if, okay, I will say D2 until D21, bracket close, I'll say comma, and then I'll simply add a accessories here. Make sure that you are double checking a spelling, if it is correctly you are typing or not. Bracket close, comma, once again, what we want a total cost of sum, right? So I'll just select this once again, bracket until the end, and then bracket close. I'll hit enter. So wherever accessories is available, the total sum of that particular category only we get it. Cool. You can do with the help of SumProduct as well, folks. Show you SumProduct as well. Once again, bracket open. I'll say D2 again until end. We want is equal to, this to be is equal to, again your accessories, close, and let's say into your G2 until G21, which is your until the end. Perfect. We are good with this. Bracket close and hit enter. You will get a same value result available. Cool. So two ways you can do it, either SumIf or maybe SumProduct. So these are the very important functions, folks. So we have covered so far Vlookup, Xlookup, SumProduct, SumIf. At the time of creating a data presentation or maybe the dashboards, this particular formulas will really help you. Now let's identify low stock products. Okay, we want to flag items with stock below 50 units as reorder needed. Cool. To do that, what we have to do, simply just say is equal to if, I'll say if, and then suppose this is the stock quantity, right? If it is low quantity, then we have to reorder that. So that's the reason we are selecting this. I'll say E2 is less than 50. Okay, for now I'm just adding this formula over here. Later on part on I can simply just copy that and paste it next to the J column. That's completely our call. First we have to add the formula if it is working fine or not. Okay, reorder needed, bracket close, double inverted comma, close, comma, and then I'll say sufficient stock. Maybe stock available, stock not available. You can add your own content basis to your requirement, folks. Okay, for now I've just kept it this as is, and then sufficient stock. What I'll do, I'll just say Control X over here and then V. Cool. And then I'll just do a Control D over here. Now if you could see it over here, folks, reorder needed, which is this, right? If I filter this like this, if I want to filter like this, I'll just say all DFF, or maybe Control Shift L, you can do it. That's not a challenge. Or if in case you are not really aware how to apply a filter, so there is an option available at the top. You can apply filter from here as well. Cool. Select once again. Let me just clear this out and reorder needed. Cool. So these are the items which are less than 50. So that's the reason it's asking us for a reorder. Great. So far we have seen that how to apply these formulas and how we can check that. And even is that you can apply a conditional formatting as well. Okay. You need a Copilot, you can do that as well. But I'm assuming my viewers must not have a Copilot. Okay. If it is not available with you, Copilot, don't worry. Let me just show you with the help of conditional formatting how you can do that. I'll just simply click here, conditional formatting, new rule. And then I'll say only cells that contains specific text. Again, sufficient. Make sure the same text you are adding. Okay, folks, sufficient stock. And I'll say this as a green. and hit OK. Likewise, reorder needed. I'll just copy this text. Okay. Select this once again. New rule. Only sales that contains reorder needed. I will say amber this time. Cool. Amber, or maybe any other color which is pretty much light. Okay. And then hit OK. Cool. So reorder needed. So this is how you can present your data, folks. Okay, with the client or maybe the stakeholders which you needed. Great. So we have seen so far how to identify a low stock products, again total cost of accessories, and prior that we have seen that find a supplier for the specific product in MS Excel. Now what's next? So suppose I want to find a unit price for a product. That time what we do, you can use a Vlookup as well, but this time I'm gonna show you index and match, how you can use that. Let's assume we have to find the unit price for the monitor. Cool. So to do that, what I'm gonna do over here is I'll just say is equal to index, and first of all I'll just say select this, because this is what we want to identify it, right? So that's what I just selected, comma, and then what I want to match with, I want to match a monitor, what we initially discussed, right? So monitor, close, double noted comma, close, comma here, and then I'll say B2 to until your B21, which is this. Cool. Comma, let's say 0, bracket close, and then hit enter. Okay, so it's asking us for missing one more bracket, so that's the reason it's not taking us. Let me just add one more shift and then 0 and then hit enter. You will get a amount like this, and if it is in dollar, so ensure that you're adding a dollar sign like this. Great. So we are done so far here, folks, and now to predict a future demand, this is one of the essential part which I have kept it over here, and I've intentionally kept it as a fifth one. Okay, and as a bonus tip, I can give you one more delivery lead time as well in a sixth tip, but for now we'll only focus on predict a future demand. How to predict a future demand? Okay, and again it's basis the data only, how much data you can collect it historically, which is that only you will get to know that we can predict a proper demand or not. So that's the reason we are doing this forecasting. Okay, to predict a demand for a next month based on the past trends. So what we have to do, there are multiple scenarios or maybe different forecasting methods to do, but right now as a simple method I'm gonna show you over here. Okay, delete this. I'll just say is equal to forecast linear. So this formula I'm gonna explain you. I'll say 6 over here, which is my variable, 6 variable, comma, node wise, I'll say shift and the sign 150, 180. If you have it handy with you, you can keep it. I'm just manually typing this data to predict the value, folks, and then 250, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close. And then hit enter. We applied this particular formula, folks. Let me give the example over here. Okay, so these are the month what we have applied over here, 1 to until 5, and units what we have sold so far. Okay, what you can do to understand, or maybe for your understanding per se, okay, you can create one table over here and you can simply add a month and A units sold over here, and basis that the 6 which is seeing it over here, the month we want to predict. So basically we need a result for this particular month. So that's what we have added this. This will help you in demand forecasting to avoid overstocking or stockouts. Useful for procurement planning and inventory control. Let's move ahead and check for the last one, which is for the bonus one, bonus tip, as I promised you folks. Suppose you want to calculate a delivery lead time. That time we can use this to find a working days between order and delivery days. That time we use this. Let me just clear this out first. So I'll say is equal to over here network days, and then I'll say this particular order date comma my delivery date. Cool. Simply I have just select this bracket close and hit enter, and then let's do a control D, and I'll simply just say delivery lead time. This is how supply chain management related formulas I have pretty much explained you folks. Where we use this lead time analysis will help you for logistic planning folks. Okay, I bet these formulas can help supply chain professionals make smarter decisions. If you found this useful, then hit like, subscribe, and don't forget to comment below with favorite formula. If you need more help with Excel, drop your questions. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.